Hi everybody, welcome back to Bobby's Bucks, and today I wanted to share the story how I harvested this buck on public land for Zone 3 here in Michigan for muzzle loading. And I took a long hunting vacation to get this done. I had one more tag to fill and I was gonna hunt Friday through Tuesday. And I planned to hunt every day, except Saturday. So Friday, I didn't even see a deer. The woods were quiet, and I walked out after 2 hunts wondering, is this what this weekend's gonna be like? Saturday was our family day. That was the day we were gonna get our Christmas tree, and our son Lincoln, that was the day he was gonna tell Santa what he wanted. He thought he was gonna get the gifts right away, and that was when we had to tell him, no, the elves have to make it. So he was a little disappointed, but that meant another day not in the deer woods. So Sunday, I pushed deep into public land, trying a new spot that I hadn't hunted all season, hoping for a fresh chance, and still nothing. Not even a glimpse of a deer. Monday, I hung it up completely because I had to take care of my family when my wife came down with a bug. So Tuesday was it, my last chance. The weather forecast was brutal. It was a full-on snowstorm, 15 degrees, snow blowing sideways, the roads were turning slick. Every instinct told me, turn around. Every fiber of my body said, go home, wait for another day. But something inside of me said, keep going. So I went even deeper into the woods to a place where my son put a ground blind. So when I finally pulled into the public land parking area, not a single truck was there. It was a blizzard on a Tuesday, so I can't say that I was surprised. I packed my trifold chair, grabbed my 450 Bushmaster, and started hiking the 3/4 of a mile through the deep snow and the wind cutting at my face. As I got closer to the blind, I realized it wasn't anywhere in sight, and for a split second I thought someone had stolen it. But then I spotted a dark shape up on the ridge about 100 yards, and sure enough my son had moved it there. It was a better spot near a blowdown. That small act of preparation done weeks earlier was about to make all the difference. I crawled inside, I shook the snow off, and warmed up with my heated vest, and started scanning all the windows. With the storm howling around me, that little ground blind felt like the Ritz-Carlton. I was snug, quiet, and I was ready. And the time passed pretty quick. The wind settled down, and the woods got into a rhythm. And then it happened. It was about 9:30 when I looked through that tiny 12-inch triangle of a window, and there he was. This beautiful buck was standing in the middle of 3 blowdowns, perfectly still, perfectly blended into the winter woods. My heart skipped, my breathing started getting faster. I lifted the rifle and rested it into the bottom of the triangle and tried to find him in the scope, but it was foggy. I kept wiping, trying to find him, and finally I found him. And he began to turn, and I just had a second to squeeze, and he disappeared. Guys, I just dropped a nice buck. I think he's a 2-year-old, maybe a 3-year-old, but I'm excited about it. I walked up, I already found him, but I want to walk up on him with you guys so you can see it. Today, it all worked out. I couldn't be happier. I walked up to the ridge and I was just about to head out because I knew, you know what, maybe I'll just go back to my place where I have a stand that has a cover. And I look over to my right and I see down here at the ridge, I see this ground blind sitting here. And this ground blind is so spacious. My son bought it this year, and he did some hunting out of it, and he didn't really see very much out here, just a few does. I thought, you know what, with the weather and everything, the way it is, maybe this is the spot. And we've been getting a lot of snow, and this thing is strong. It's been holding up. Again, it's 15 degrees out here. So it all worked out. You know, I couldn't get out yesterday, but I got out today for the last day before I go back, and we're all tagged out. So let's go get that buck.
Okay. There's the ground blind I was hunting out of. And I shot him right there in this brush out here. There's that ridge. And here's my tracks. It really was a heck of a shot, I tell you. I think we got to go all the way around. See, we're right next to private. I think that's what that deer came out of. There it is. There it is. I mean, he's a good looking buck.
You know, I'm happy to put my tag on him. I thought he was a little older. I can see now that when I'm grabbing his antlers, I can see that he's 2.5. But still a gorgeous buck, and he's going to be some terrific venison. And I couldn't be happier on the last day of my trip to tag this buck. I shot him at 70 yards. I hadn't seen a deer all morning, and you know the season's getting so tough right now. You know, hunting these stands on the ground, these stand placements on the ground. You know, today was the first day that I actually got to sit in and hunt out of a ground blind. You know, that's actually, it takes me back to when I shot my first good buck. Shot him out of a ground blind in December, and you know, those are terrific to hunt out of. I'll link it down below. Dragging that deer through the snow really put everything into perspective with every step, with the aftermath of the storm all over the woods still. I thought about why we hunt. It's not just these blessings, it's about the reset, the clearing of our mind and heart that happens every season. Hunting strips away that noise. It clears the static from your thoughts. It reminds you of what really is important. You have so much time to reflect. The cold air, the quiet woods, the long sits, the miles walked, it all cleanses your soul. And when the season ends, you immediately start the next one in your mind. You start scouting trails, checking maps, replaying memories, and planning your changes for next season. The chase never really stops. It just shifts gears, and there's nothing like a late season drag through the fresh snow back to the truck with your heart still full from the moment, your legs burning, sure, but your mind is replaying that moment over and over. That high stays with you for weeks. And that's the memory you take home. That's the one you hold on to until next November rolls around and the whole chase starts again. So never give up. Adapt when things change. Don't let the weather make your decision for you, because sometimes the hardest hunts are the ones that give you the clearest reminder of why we love this lifestyle and why we keep coming back year after year. And never underestimate what one cold, miserable morning can turn into. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next video.